Hey folks, welcome to Monday, the 18th of October 2021. Had a really decent finish to what was a really decent upside week for equities last week, and very much pushing back towards the all-time highs in equities. So, the bonds also coming under fire, giving it up, and really massive pullback then on gold, given the inverse correlation gold has with the real yield on the bonds. But gold certainly coming back to an area of interest at this time. The Dixie sort of flummoxing around. I think it's overall weak, and the euro trying to make some gains on that over the last 2 weeks. So, we have a very light data day or data calendar ahead for today. We've got industrial production out of the US. Nothing really to note in the European session. A little bit of French data, actually as well, coming out at 2 o'clock. But really, the big one is industrial production year on year, month on month for the US. Set to come out at 0.2%. Manufacturing is there as well, but a very quiet day. Lots more to come, I think, in the week, and definitely Friday is the bigger day this week to look to the markets for some volatility. So let's get over and have a look at these charts, and you can see the DAX just coming off a little bit, taking a bit of that heat off of last week's upside, but this is a pre-US session, and so we must go over and look at the Nasdaq. So um, looking at this on the daily, you can see here just what a week last week. Really coming in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, up, up, up. Not so near to its all-time highs as is the Dow, whereas the Dow is. But a very good push. Really, the best trade that we've been looking at is on this mother uptrend from sort of the low here on the 2nd of November 2020, also the low on the 5th of March 2021, and then that gives you this trend. And so it came down to interact here. Really nice activity on the bottom here, 3 days on lows. Really, there were only two opportunities to get on this trade. Of course, tight risk to where we trade right now. It's about 12,000, $12,500 per single contract traded. You're doing about 13 to 1. That's a big old move for the Nasdaq, and you could have been easily scaling out into the 50 EMA, which now sits as support below. And with that, we have this double tap high on the 13th, 14th of July, which we were looking at back here on the 7th and 8th of October as resistance, but now, as always, it's going to be acting as support. So should we pull down here and test 14,987s, I think there's food for the buyers there. I think there's food for the buyers also at the 14,876s, which is just kind of that one level below at the high of the 7th of July. So really, really good support, I think, in the 100 EMA also. It's just, how much volatility is going to come in and try and sell this down, and where is good value on this market right now? It's high. You don't want to be buying high. You want to be buying low, selling high. And so, to get long way up here, I think that's just really, really dodgy trading opportunities right now to get on with further upside. But I like 14,987s on this market. SPOs on the daily, you can see here back up to the 44.67 quarter, and that was the high on the 16th of August. Also good resistant area there on the 27th of September. So we've just achieved that this morning on the reopen of trade, 2300 hours GMT, which is the electronic opening hours for the CME. So I think, look, 44.13 and quarter. I think a retest down in this area, I think that's going to be quite a fruitful little area for the bulls. I don't really think that the bears have the stones to get us under here. And if they do, I think that's short lived. Notwithstanding headline risk, that is, of course, So we had, for example, Governor Bailey out of the BOE won't be drawn on what his decision is about raising interest rates or not this year. But I mean, I don't think there's, well, I'd be pretty certain there is no fear of the Fed doing that this year at all. Um, Dow, as you can see, the Dow is quite close to its all-time highs here on the daily bar chart. So, we're just back up into the resistant downtrend that we saw came in from actually this being the all-time high just above, and I'll get rid of that one. 35,426 is all-time high. And then coming into these multiple top highs on the 31st of August, 1st September, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Really good trend resistance up there. Nice, easy, short conditions for the Dow. Just can't do it on the APAC session. And a little bit of continuation on that this morning, but not a huge amount of volume interest on that short side. I think, look, let's see the excess on the highs here, trying to push above 34,775s. I think if you were on the longs all the way up until kind of today, or well, not sorry, last up until last Wednesday, I think you were on the longs above that level. You'd have to be nimble, you'd have to be quick, you'd have to be taking your trades off. Just not you should not be willing to hold a long at that level and buy into the dip, because if you were, well, I think you're broke right now, basically. So I think you've blown your account unless you're quite a large sized fund here. So um yeah, as we come down to test this 34,775s, we'll look at the excess on the tops when we were resistant. Therefore, it expect excess on the lows as we are supportive. And so, if we zoom back into this Dow on the 60-minute, looking at that area there, 34,775s just above the S2. And you got the 50 EMA supportive below as well. And we have this trend that was broken temporarily, but this uptrend, I don't think it's even going to come to that. I think that trend is slightly busted, but we may, it is possible, as I say, notwithstanding headline risk. But I do like the support 34,775s in the Dow. Gold, it's just not able to hold what it did there last week. Up to the 200 EMA, and then off we go. The bonds in concert with that really just went off on Friday. And you can see sort of here was the linchpin move at the 17,884s, came in about 10 a.m. and couldn't even hold it at 9 a.m. And so nice short to get some pullback on gold there. There is this channel below, which is really sort of this is one of the strongest lines in the sand that I've seen recently in any of these markets for gold. If I show you that on the daily, here it is. So it's really, this area was the high of the 18th of March to the high of the low of the range is the high of the 25th, right? And so I was working this yellow area right before, and I'm actually going to delete that now off of the 60-minute. And you can see that while we have sort of pushed above, I'll actually, yeah, I've got to tidy this thing up a lot more than this. So yeah, you can see here on the market at pretty much right now we are supportive on this area in gold. What I do like the longs for a push back to the 50. I just think gold has been a really dirty trade this year. You just got to play it technically. You got to be watching the bonds. Um, it's just there are easier ways to make money in these markets, if you ask me. That's simple as that. There's easier ways to make money than trying to nail this gold trade. But that's just me. That's just me. So, but do be aware of gold being firmly tied, positive correlation um, with the bonds. So, and it's not just, you're not really just trading the bonds, or gold, you're trading the real yield. So gold or oil, I mean, what a beauty. We did make it back to up on the 80 35s. Was quite that resistant area, especially the 79 25s was actually that was an interim resistance. I think we can start to really take off a couple of these areas here. So this is the shape of oil for me. 84.75s is the next stop up. and above that 87.93s, and then above there you're looking at 89 spot 22s, which is actually the 1998 low. Well, I'm not going to go way that far back on this chart, as it's just way too much data. But you can see here that the market is not thinking about going down anytime soon. I don't think OPEC is at all interested in releasing any more production onto the market to alleviate this situation. And so therefore we got to keep going up. And that's all there is to it. How do we make money today on oil, Tim? Well, tell me if you know. But I think if you come down to test the 81.63s, which was the high there of last Monday, you can see it was a real doozy of a support or a resistance area. Now I think it's going to be acting as support. There is obviously this little gap here on the reopen of electronic trade from the pit closure last week on Friday. So, and of course, we have rolled. See this line here? We have rolled to the DEC 21 contract on volume. So there's more volume trade in the Z21 contract now than there is trading the X21 contract for the futures traders out there. So just do be aware of that. I have rolled this chart, and so these prices are on the Z21 contract. See the Z21 contract top left there. Okay, so that's pretty much it for me for today. Um, yeah, not much more to cover. All right, so please do click and subscribe if you're watching this in YouTube, and you can get alerted to anytime we're going live or releasing new videos. And to the guys and girls in the Discord room, I will see you at 1 o'clock for the live US session. All right, happy Monday, and I'll talk to you later. Cheers.